my word. That debate last night. Listen, just like sports fans like all of their special events, whether it's the Super Bowl or the World Series or whatever else there is, the playoffs, I'm a political junkie. Politics is kind of my sport and my hobby. And I generally like watching the debates. It is kind of like the Super Bowl for us political nerds, is to watch the Republican primary debates, the Democrat primary debates, and then the presidential debates. I actually usually really find it entertaining, even as it's kind of cringy. But I gotta tell you, that debate last night, it was worse than the first one. And it wasn't just because Donald Trump wasn't there. I understand why Donald Trump doesn't go to these debates, because the RNC has basically done him dirty. Fox News is doing him dirty, and why should he when he's so high up in the polls? I guess that third reason is probably the least of all the good reasons why he's not there. The point of this is, I understand why Trump is not there, but I wish that he would be, because I think he's really entertaining on the debate stage. He's actually, of all these candidates, the only one that has debate stage skills. And it would have been more fun to watch. So a couple of overall takeaways. In a sense, these debates seem pointless to me because Trump is up by so much. So I wish that the moderator of this debate would ask the other candidates why they're here still. Are they here because they don't think that Trump is going to secure the nomination? And if so, what is their thought process on this? Do they think he's going to be put in jail? Do they think he's going to be, convicted of one of these felonies? Do you think he's going to be forced to drop out? Like, why are you here? Because you're obviously just competing for second place. Yet the moderators on Fox News are too busy speaking in Spanish to actually ask good questions. So a couple of clips that I think are important. These points are important. This next clip, I will warn you, this is why the Republican Party doesn't attract young people and why so many people are disgusted with the Republican Party. This is Chris Christie with apparently the best zinger that his political speechwriting team could possibly come up with, and it's just a bucket full of cringe. Listen to this.
And I want to look in that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight, not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
Like, the people that are laughing in the audience are laughing because they're uncomfortable, not because that was funny. Like, can you imagine if your campaign team brings you a dossier with pre-written one-liners and you're going through and seeing which ones you like the best, and this is the one you pick? Good Lord. This is why even conservatives don't have faith in the Republican Party, because this is the best we have. Like, how do you get so far that you are one of the presidential candidates for the Republican Party and you don't know anything? Like, I could get up on that stage, you guys could get up on that stage, and we would perform better than these candidates. We know more than these candidates. We actually are willing to fight and acknowledge the reality of the political enemy that we face better than these candidates. They don't know what they're talking about. Another moment. So on X tonight, people were reacting, saying, oh, Vivek had some good answers. People liked his answer on birthright citizenship. They liked his answer on the fentanyl crisis. And some of his answers sounded okay. I understand that. If you transcribed his answers, some of what he said, if you were just parsing it word for word, maybe sounded better than some of the other candidates, but I just still cannot trust the guy. And Tim Scott, finally, someone actually called out Vivek for the reason that I can't trust him, because of his actions just 2, 3, 4 years ago. This is what Tim Scott said to Vivek.
One step further, though. When we have a conversation about the things that are happening on this stage, we think about the fact that Vivek just said we were all good people. And I appreciate that, because last debate, he said we were all bought and paid for. And I thought about that for a little while and said, I can't imagine how you could say that knowing that you were just in business with the Chinese Communist Party and the same people that funded Hunter Biden millions of dollars was a partner of yours as well. It's not nonsense.
So look,
Is Tim Scott wrong? Of course he's not wrong. Of course he's not wrong. Now, this would mean a little bit more. I would probably be more of a fan of Tim Scott if he hadn't received the largest donations from Big Pharma of any of the 100 senators in the United States Senate a year or two ago. But of course, Tim Scott will never be asked about this in a Fox News debate, because just like Big Pharma funds these politicians like Tim Scott, Big Pharma also funds Fox News. So they're never going to ask him a question about that. The best answer of the night goes to DeSantis. And I say this without any excitement because I don't think DeSantis is very skilled on the debate stage. I think that his polling numbers, his falling poll numbers, show that since he's launched his campaign and is out of the action in Florida, that's where he thrives. He's a very good governor. He's very good at governance. He's very good at applying political philosophy to governance. He's not very good at campaigning, and he's not very good at this public speaking. He did have the best answer, however, on education. And the reason, let me point this out, the reason that it was his best answer is because he forgot to put on this like character that he puts on when he's on the debate stage usually. And he forgot to just give one of his canned answers. And instead, he explained, just like he does when he's in Florida, why he did something in Florida regarding education reform. And for 1 second, you saw the authentic DeSantis. And I think a lot of us were like, oh, there he is. Where's this guy been? Now, whether it's too late for his campaign, you could make the argument that it probably is. But for better or for worse, he had the best answer of the night on education. And here it is.
Slaves develop skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. You have said slaves develop skills in spite of slavery, not because of it. But many are still hurt. For descendants of slaves, this is personal. What is your message to them?
So first of all, that's a hoax that was perpetrated by Kamala Harris. We are not going to be doing that. Second of all, that was written by descendants of slaves. These are great Black history scholars, so we need to stop playing these games. Here's the deal. Our country's education system is in decline because it's focused on indoctrination, denying parents' rights. Florida represents the revival of American education. We're ranked #1 in the nation in education by U.S. News and World Report. My wife and I, we have a 6, 5, and 3-year-old. This is personal to us. We didn't just talk about universal school choice. We enacted universal school choice. We didn't just talk about Parents' Bill of Rights. We enacted the Parents' Bill of Rights. We eliminated critical race theory, and we now have American civics and the Constitution in our schools in a really big way, just like President Reagan asked for in his farewell address back in 1989. Florida is showing how it's done. We're standing with parents, and our kids are benefiting.
And there's the DeSantis that a lot of people were excited for when he announced for presidency that we haven't seen since he announced his candidacy. Whether it's too late for him or not, I'll let you make up your mind. It's probably too late for him, in my opinion. I mean, he's dropped, 10, 11, 12 points since he announced in May. President Trump is way ahead of him. Again, it does beg the question what all of these candidates are doing on the stage. I don't know that they're helping themselves. The overall takeaway from this debate is it's kind of frustrating to see the leaders of the Republican Party be so disconnected from the base, from you and me. We sit here every day and we talk about these cultural war issues that mean so much, whether it's the transgender ideology attacking our kids, whether it's critical race theory, whether it's DEI in our corporations, whether it's woke corporations that are bound to an ESG score, all of these things, abortion even, the definition of marriage, all of these things are fundamental to our country, and you and I understand them. You and I understand that even if they're uncomfortable topics to talk about, this is where the left is attacking us